as family, we said, can we all try and either put it to mind or put it to paper and be able to say a few words about our late sister. And to set the pace, I'll give some theme, and the children, followed by others, will come and give their eulogies. What can I say about my sister Martha? For those of you who knew Martha, she was not only the life of the party, but often the reason for the party. She used to always say to us, don't be so serious. Life is too short. Just have fun. In her 20s, Martha was diagnosed with a terminal illness. I remember when Martha was diagnosed years ago. She was firm, gentle, hopeful, yet well aware of the way her life was changing and was going to change. There is no cure for this illness, and over the years that followed after her diagnosis, I admired her spirit and the way she woke up every day to do daily chores like preparing her children, driving them to school, coming back home, and chatting with the rest of us. I want to tell you today about Martha's willpower. If there's one thing my sister possessed, it is willpower. Against all odds, her will often prevailed. My sister lived in the Netherlands for most of her last years. In June of 2009, she came down to Zambia to visit us. It was a great time as we had not been together for the last few years. We particularly love to share watching comedy. We watch DVDs together at home. In particular, Once Upon a Crime, Keeping Up Appearances, 1001 Rabbit Tales, among others. These movies we had watched before, but the humor therein made us watch them over and over again, just so that we can laugh together. Martha soon went back to Netherlands, and I felt rather sad that it will be a few years yet again before I see my sister. But I was wrong. I got a call from my sister, and she said, I'm coming to visit you next week. This was a surprise. She had only been gone for 2 months. All the same, the joy of having her around made me not question her visit, but rather expect to laugh again with her. My sister arrived in her usual jovial spirit, also dressed in her usual funny way. Yes, that was her. When we had joked, laughed, settled, she sought my audience privately. She then revealed why she had come down. She also asked me not to share this with anyone. She did not want to worry anyone. Now that she has passed on, it will cause no worry to her, and therefore I will share with you what she shared with me. My sister confided in me that her doctors in the Netherlands had informed her that her CD4 count had gone down to 0. Yes, 0. Now, a normal, healthy human being has a CD4 count of 900 and above. Once that CD4 count reaches 200, it becomes very dangerous. What about a person whose CD4 count goes to 0? What is amazing is that, notwithstanding this knowledge, she was still very positive, showed no signs of sickness, and went on about life as normal. We played, joked, and did all things normally, yet she knew that even the slightest of infections could cause her fatal harm. She returned to the Netherlands and lived the next 3 months without falling ill. Thereafter, she began to fall ill. In December of 2009, I asked my sister that she comes down here so that we can help her with the children. She used to drive them to school, basically take care of them. With her getting ill, it would have been very difficult to continue doing those chores. So I requested her to come down for a short while so that as family we can share her burden. What I did not know at the time was that my sister's condition had rapidly deteriorated to the extent that she was no longer walking. She was brought over by Hiet's mom. It was extremely sad to see my sister, who was so full of life, being wheeled at the airport. No more running to hug each other and laughing. Just a sister with lost weight in a wheelchair. I took her to the hospice here in Lusaka. When I told the doctor that my sister had 0 CD4 count, and this had been so for the last few months, the doctor smiled a polite smile, obviously thinking that I was talking about things I did not know. How can anyone live even a few days with 0 CD4 count? In his polite manner, the doctor told me that they prefer to do their own tests. When they had done their tests, the doctor called me and told me that indeed what I had told him was true. The doctor said he was completely baffled at her being there despite this condition. The doctor called it a medical miracle. But I knew deep down that only 2 things made this possible. My sister's willpower. The willpower to live for her kids. And secondly, her constant prayer. This miracle baffled everyone as my sister lived through the whole 2010. Many times down, but sometimes okay. What baffled doctors was that she would get infections, but somehow, with no CD4 count, she still would cure and go on. In August of 2010, my sister came to me and said she felt much better. Obviously, I could not totally believe this. But my sister, she was bold, she had courage, and she had an overdose of willpower. She'd say to me she was going to find a place to live. With all my interjections, my sister was of strong will. She moved to the flat she lived at in Kablonga. From the time she came back to Zambia on the 25th of January 2010, my sister lived for another year before she succumbed to the illness on the 16th of January 2011. Her willpower to live beats logic and beats science. I thought I should share this with you so that you may know that which I admired in my sister. Her strong willpower. Towards the final days of Martha's time on earth, we spent time praying together. She always was a spiritual person, and I know it was her faith that helped her through those last few months. When I left Martha that night, I turned around, and as I walked out to the hospital, she lay there with her eyes shut. I knew she had found her peace with life. As I was preparing this speech, I found this poem, and I want to share it with you all. Life is but a stopping place, a pause in what's to be, a resting place along the road to sweet eternity. We all have different journeys, different paths along the way. We all were meant to learn some things, but never meant to stay. Our destiny is a place far greater than we know. For some, the journey is quicker. For some, the journey slow. And when the journey finally ends, we'll claim a great reward and find the everlasting peace together with the Lord. Now, bring back the memories of my sister. I know will bring back a bit of sadness, but I want to again remind you that she should have wanted us to be a laughing lot on this day. I could not help but to pick one or two lines that I'm sure my sister would have said if she were here today. One is, I don't mind dying, I just don't want to be there when it happens. And the lesson, you cannot prevent the birds of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building nests in your hair. Thank you very much.
Thank you.